Hello everyone and welcome to Exquisite Blossoms. As you can see, we have our first orchid in bloom, the Coelogyne fimbriata. Today we will be talking a little bit about her care, so let's begin. Since this orchid is in bloom, let's talk about her bloom cycle first. So the Coelogyne fimbriata is a fall blooming orchid. So she grows a inflorescence roughly from 2 to 4 inches. And I honestly thought that when she grew her flower spike and the bud formed, I thought it was going to be one huge flower. But little did I know that I would actually get roughly 1 to 3 flowers. So when I noticed that the sheath back there separated and a bud formed, I was actually really surprised. So she is in the process of making another bud at the back there. Let's see, let's show you guys a better angle. Another bud back there. I'm not sure if that's a second sheath. I'm not sure if she'll be producing 3, but I know for sure I'll have 2 flowers. So she has a rich chocolate brown colored fuzzy lip, really fuzzy, and she has 2 narrow petals, very slim petals, and her sepals. She's only opened up for me 2 days now. She is supposed to be fragrant, but so far from what I smell from her, she smells like fresh cut grass. I'm not sure if that will change, but I'll wait and see. This orchid resides in the Himalayas, Myanmar, Malaysia, Vietnam, and other locations in Asia. The Coelogyne fimbriata is an epiphytic orchid that can grow on trees, or a lithophyte, which means they can grow on rocks as well. So currently I have her potted in pumice with a top layer of river rocks. This orchid enjoys bright sunlight and is able to handle direct morning and evening sunlight. So currently I have my Coelogyne fimbriata placed on the middle shelf so she receives bright diffused light. Unfortunately, I moved it to the top shelf thinking she might need more light, and I ended up burning her leaves on the older growth. Surprisingly, her latest growth didn't seem affected, but I didn't want to chance it, so I moved her back to her original spot. So she went back right there. The Coelogyne fimbriata is a cool to warm growing orchid. So during the summer, the daytime temperatures can be around 20 degrees Celsius and the nighttime temperature should be 12 degrees Celsius. So when I purchased this orchid, it was late July, early August. And at the time, Toronto was experiencing some really hot weather. So this orchid was in the process of making her flower spike, but suddenly she stalled and was starting to produce roots instead. I think this happened because day and night temperatures were still hot and there was no drop in temperature. Finally, mid-August, we started getting some cooler temperatures, so I would move the orchid every night to the windowsill. That's when I noticed the growth in her inflorescence. So there should be 8 to 10 degrees drop in temperature from day to night. This orchid is a high humidity orchid that resides in an area where it rarely drops below 70%. So far, the Coelogyne fimbriata seems to do fine even when humidity levels drop to 50%. So my humidity levels fluctuate between 50 to 70%, so she still seems to be doing fine in that range. So watering you would do based on your environment. If you reside in an area where climates are hot, you would have to water more frequently. And if you reside in an area where temperatures are cooler, you might not have to water as often. So, based on how I water this orchid, she never had a dry period. Her roots are always kept moist. She has really fine roots. It's really hard to tell, but this orchid does not like to dry out. But she should not be kept super wet as well, just moist. Once all the water from the reservoir is sucked up by the pumice, I fill her back up with fertilized water. And remember to always have good air movement around the orchid. So I'm actually not sure when she goes into her rest period. I've come across two different times where she goes dormant. One site mentioned that this orchid goes dormant in November, but I don't know if that's for sure, since she is a fall blooming orchid and she is still in the process of making the bud in the back there, and we're already in October. And another website mentioned that this orchid goes dormant or goes into her rest period in spring. So I actually do not have a solid season, I guess. So I'm just gonna play it by ear. I'm gonna wait to see what she does after her blooms have fallen off. But in the meantime, when she does go into her rest period, she will be moved to a medium lit area. Also, watering will be cut back and no fertilizing. And during this time, the temperature should be at a constant 10 degrees day and night. So I'm actually not sure how strict this has to be, but I guess I'll just see when the time arrives. Another thing I forgot to mention is that this girl is an unruly grower or climber. So look at the way she's already growing in her pot. Yeah, she looks like she's already about to either climb upwards. So I'm hoping that when her new growth, which will be right there, let's show you guys a close-up. Right there. I'm hoping that at the time when she is ready to start making that new growth, I can train her rhizome to come back in towards the pot. Hopefully. If not, then I'm just going to see if she's just going to hang and let her do what she's going to do and decide what's going to happen then. And I believe that's it for now, guys. This is what has worked for me so far. I'll definitely keep you guys posted. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you have an exquisite day. Bye!